Thanksgiving at the Carter family estate in Greenwich, Connecticut was always an event. Crystal chandeliers, imported wine, catered food from Manhattan's finest restaurants. Mom treated it like a performance where everyone had a role to play. My role apparently was the disappointment. I had driven up from New York City that Wednesday afternoon, hitting traffic on I-95 for 2 solid hours. My phone kept buzzing with work emails. Our Q4 numbers were exceeding projections. A major feature was being finalized, and our latest funding round had just closed at a valuation that made my head spin. But none of that mattered as I pulled up to the house in my electric car. Not the flashy one, just the standard range. It did what I needed it to do. My brother Derek's luxury SUV was already in the circular driveway. So was Dad's sedan and Aunt Patricia's sports car. I grabbed my overnight bag and headed inside. Sophie. Mom appeared in the foyer wearing a cream-colored sweater set and pearls. She looked me up and down with barely concealed disappointment. "You're wearing that." I glanced at my outfit. Dark jeans, a black turtleneck, and ankle boots. "Hi, Mom. Happy Thanksgiving. We have guests arriving in an hour. The Hendersons, the Marlowes, the Chens from Dad's firm. Couldn't you have worn something more professional? I'm comfortable." She sighed the way she always did when I failed to meet her expectations. "Well, at least come say hello to your father. He's in the study with Derek." The study smelled like leather and expensive scotch. Dad sat behind his mahogany desk. A partner at a white shoe law firm, he had made his career representing Fortune 500 companies. Derek stood by the window, drink in hand, looking every inch the successful investment banker in his tailored suit. "Sophie," Dad said without looking up from his laptop. "How's the drive?" "Fine. Traffic wasn't too bad." Derek turned, smirking. "Still driving that little electric thing? I thought you'd have upgraded by now." "It gets me where I need to go." "Barely." "What's the range on those things?" "Like 250 miles. He swirled his scotch. "I just picked up the new model. Now that's a real car." "Congratulations. How's work going?" "Work is excellent. Just advised on a massive acquisition." "Real money, real scale." He shared a look with Dad. "You really should think about getting a more traditional job, Sophie. I could make a call." "I'm good, thanks." Mom appeared in the doorway. "Guests are arriving. Derek, go help your father greet them. Sophie, try to look enthusiastic, please." Thanksgiving dinner was exactly as excruciating as I had anticipated. 14 people crammed around Mom's extended dining table. The conversation flowed through the usual topics. Dad's latest big case, Derek's promotion, various engagement and pregnancy announcements. Then Mrs. Henderson turned to me with a kind smile. "And Sophie, dear, what are you up to these days?" "Still in New York." "She's doing a startup," Mom interjected quickly, as if trying to get past an embarrassing topic. "Some sort of online payment company." "How interesting," Mrs. Henderson said. "Like the apps everyone uses?" "Similar concept, but we focus on business-to-business payments," I said quietly. "We help companies manage cash flow, process invoices, and optimize payment timing." Derek laughed. "She makes it sound so legitimate." "It is legitimate," I said. "Sophie, honey," Mom set down her wine glass. "Can we please not do this tonight? It's Thanksgiving." "Do what?" "Talk about my company." "Your company." Derek made air quotes. "Mom's right. It's embarrassing." The table went quiet. Uncle George looked uncomfortable. Aunt Patricia suddenly became very interested in her cranberry sauce. "Excuse me," I said. "Come on, Sophie." Derek leaned back in his chair, warming to his subject. He had drunk too much wine and was feeling bold. "We're family. We can be honest. What you're doing isn't a real business. It's a hobby that's gone on way too long." "Derek," his wife said softly, touching his arm. He waved her off. "No, someone needs to say it. You've been doing this for years. And what do you have to show for it? You live in a tiny apartment. You drive a base model car. You dress like you shop at a discount store." "Derek, that's enough," Dad said, but without much conviction. "Is it? Because I'm tired of watching my sister embarrass this family. The Hendersons are here. The Marlows. The Chens from Dad's firm. What are we supposed to tell them? Oh, yes. Our daughter plays entrepreneur with her little internet company. Mom nodded. Derek has a point, Sophie. This has gone on long enough. I set down my fork carefully. What exactly has gone on long enough? This pretending. Mom gestured vaguely. Sweetie, we love you, but you need to face reality. Your business isn't real. It's time to stop embarrassing us and get a proper job. The words hung in the air like a slap. You know what I mean, Mom continued. You don't have an office. You work from coffee shops and your apartment. You've never shown us any financial statements. For all we know, you're living off credit cards. I'm not living off credit cards. Then show us the numbers, Derek challenged. What's your revenue? How many employees do you have? I have over 300 employees. He snorted. 300 employees? Sure. And I'm the King of England. Derek, Dad said again, more firmly this time. This is an appropriate dinner conversation. Why not? Because it's uncomfortable? Someone needs to tell Sophie the truth. Her fake business is embarrassing. She's embarrassing. And I'm sick of pretending otherwise. I looked around the table. Mrs. Henderson was staring at her plate. Mr. Marlowe was refilling his wine glass. Aunt Patricia looked like she wanted to disappear. Nobody was defending me. You're right, I said quietly, standing up. This is an appropriate dinner conversation. Excuse me. I walked out of the dining room, grabbed my coat from the hall closet, and headed for my car. Mom caught up with me in the driveway. Sophie, wait. Where are you going? Back to the city. You're leaving? It's Thanksgiving. And I just got called embarrassing and fake in front of your dinner guests. I think I'm done. Honey, Derek didn't mean it like that. He's just worried about you. We all are. I unlocked my car. You think my business is fake. You think I'm embarrassing. There's nothing left to say. Sophie, please. Just come back inside. No, Mom. We really can't. I drove back to Brooklyn with tears blurring my vision. Not because they had hurt my feelings, though they had, but because of the irony. The thing was, they weren't completely wrong to have been skeptical years ago. In the beginning, I had quit a stable, high-paying job to start my own company. Everyone thought I was insane. I had walked away from a clear path to success to chase what Derek called a pipe dream. The first year was brutal. I burned through most of my savings. I lived on cheap food and coffee. I taught myself to code at night because I could not afford to hire developers. But I had seen a gap in the market. Small and medium-sized businesses were drowning in late payments and poor cash flow. The existing solutions were either too expensive or too complicated. I wanted to build something simple, affordable, and actually useful. My company launched with exactly one client, a struggling furniture manufacturer who owed me a favor. We processed a small amount in payments that first month. Then word spread. By the end of that year, we had hundreds of clients. The next year, we had thousands. The year after that, we had expanded to more than 8,000 clients and hired nearly 200 employees. This year, we had over 15,000 clients and more than 300 employees. Our annual revenue was well over $100 million. We had just closed a major funding round at a valuation that would make anyone's jaw drop. 2 weeks ago, I had done a 6-hour photo shoot for a major business magazine's feature on transformative leaders. The magazine was set to hit newsstands tomorrow. But I had never told my family any of this. Not because I was hiding it, but because they had never asked. They had seen my small apartment, my unremarkable car, my casual clothes, and decided I was failing. And I had let them believe it because part of me wanted to see how long it would take them to actually show interest in what I was building. Years. The answer was years, and they still did not care enough to ask real questions. I got back to my apartment around 11 p.m. It was a modest one-bedroom with hardwood floors and a nice view. I had bought it outright. No mortgage, no landlord. Just mine. My phone had been buzzing nonstop. I ignored most of the messages. I opened one from Aunt Patricia first. Sophie, I'm so sorry about tonight. Derek was completely out of line. Your mother shouldn't have let it continue. I hope you're okay. At least someone in my family had a conscience. I scrolled to Derek's messages. You're being dramatic. Come back. You know I'm right. I deleted them without responding. Mom's messages were variations on a theme. Please come back. You're overreacting. Dad's messages were shorter. Your mother is upset. Call her. I turned off my phone and poured myself a glass of wine. Tomorrow was going to be interesting. The next morning, I woke to my phone exploding. I turned it back on to check work emails, and immediately the notifications started flooding in. Aunt Patricia, Sophie, is this you? A photo attached. The photo was the magazine cover. There I was, photographed in our office headquarters, sitting at my desk with the city skyline behind me. The headline read something about leaders under 40 who were transforming American business. And in smaller text, my name, age, and the words, built a 9-figure fintech empire. Aunt Patricia, I'm at your parents' house for breakfast. I just opened the magazine. Your mother's face is white. Call me immediately. I grinned and poured myself coffee. My work phone started ringing. It was my business partner. Have you seen the cover? She asked. Not in person yet. Is it out? It's everywhere. Social media is exploding. Our website traffic is up hundreds of %. We have gotten dozens of new client inquiries since 6 in the morning. That's amazing. Amazing? It's insane. The PR team is freaking out in a good way. They want to schedule interviews. Several major outlets want follow-ups. Send me the list. I will review it this afternoon. You're eerily calm about this. I knew the cover was coming. Yeah, but did you know it would blow up like this? They're calling you the quiet giant of fintech. Let's not get carried away. I'm serious. This is huge. You should come into the office. The team wants to celebrate. I will be there in an hour. I hung up and checked my personal phone again. Dozens of new messages. Mom, Aunt Patricia just showed me a magazine. Is this real? Why didn't you tell us? Call me right now. Derek, what the hell? Is that magazine cover actually you? Call me. Dad, your mother is very upset. We need to talk about this article. Derek's wife, Sophie, I'm so proud of you. That cover is incredible. Derek is processing. Call when you can. I ignored them all and got ready for work. Our offices occupied 2 floors of a building in Midtown Manhattan. Glass walls, standing desks, a full kitchen, and a view of a famous park. When I walked in, the entire office erupted in applause. There she is, my partner shouted. The cover star. Someone had printed the magazine cover and blown it up to poster size. It was hanging in the main conference room with a banner that read, "We always knew." My head of engineering handed me a mimosa. You're a celebrity now. How does it feel? Surreal. Surreal? You're on the cover of a major business magazine. With your revenue numbers, your valuation, your face. This is going to change everything. She was not wrong. By noon, we had received hundreds of client inquiries, dozens of interview requests, and multiple invitations to speak at conferences. Our investor relations team was fielding calls from venture capitalists who suddenly wanted to talk about our next funding plans. The publicity was overwhelming and perfect. In the afternoon, my personal phone rang. I had been expecting this. Hi, Mom. Sophie Marie Carter. Her voice was shaking. I'm sitting here with Aunt Patricia, and she just showed me a magazine with your face on the cover. Is this some kind of joke? It's not a joke. It says you run a $100 million company. Says you have hundreds of employees. It says you're revolutionizing the fintech industry. All true. Then why? Her voice broke. Why didn't you tell us? You never asked, Mom. That's not fair. You never said. I tried to. Multiple times. But every time I mentioned my company, you dismissed it. You called it a hobby. Derek called it embarrassing. You literally told me last night that my business was fake. Silence. Is Dad there? I asked. He's reading the article right now. Sophie, this says you raised tens of millions in funding. It says you're processing over $1 billion in transactions monthly. How's this possible? Because I am good at what I do. But you live in a tiny apartment. You drive a regular car. I live in an apartment that I own outright. I drive a car that is efficient and reliable. None of those things have anything to do with whether my business is successful. Derek is here, Mom said quietly. He wants to talk to you. I don't want to talk to Derek. Sophie, please. He feels terrible about last night. There was rustling, then Derek's voice. He sounded different. Subdued. Sophie, I don't know what to say. Then don't say anything. I'm sorry. About last night. I was drunk and stupid and completely out of line. You called my business fake. You called me embarrassing. In front of Mom and Dad's friends. I know. I am an idiot. I had no idea. None of you did. Why didn't you ask? You're right. I did assume. And I was completely wrong. He paused. The article says you're processing over $1 billion monthly. That is more than my entire division handles. I know. It also says you turned down acquisition offers from major banks. I did. Multiple times. They wanted to buy my company for hundreds of millions. I said no every time. Why? Because we are worth more than that. And because I am not building this company to sell it. I am building it to last. Derek was quiet for a long moment. I am proud of you, Sophie. I should have said that years ago. I am sorry I did not. I appreciate that. Can you come back up for the weekend? Everyone wants to see you. I have work, Derek. We just got hundreds of new client inquiries because of the magazine cover. I need to be here. Right. Of course. Work. He sounded genuinely disappointed. Will you at least call Mom back? She is devastated that she did not know. I will think about it. I hung up and turned off my phone for a while. The weekend was a blur of interviews, client calls, and team celebrations. By Monday, the magazine cover had been shared tens of thousands of times on social media. We had gotten over 1,000 client inquiries and hired a dedicated PR firm to manage the media requests. Monday afternoon, a flower delivery arrived at my apartment. 24 white roses with a card. Sophie, we are so sorry. We should have believed in you. We should have asked. We should have known. Please forgive us. We love you. Mom, Dad, and Derek. I put the flowers in a vase and did not call them back right away. The next day, a package arrived. Inside was a handwritten letter from Mom. Dear Sophie, I have spent the past several days reading everything I can find about your company. The magazine article, the online features, the coverage, the case studies from your clients. I have watched your keynote speeches. I have read the reviews from your employees, all overwhelmingly positive. I am ashamed that I had to learn about my own daughter's success from a magazine. You were right at Thanksgiving. We never asked. We saw what we wanted to see, a struggling entrepreneur who needed our guidance. We never looked deeper. We never took you seriously. Derek is mortified. He has told everyone at his firm about you. Apparently, his managing director has been trying to get a meeting with you for months. Small world. Your father wants to invest in your next funding round. I told him that is not probably appropriate and also that you do not need our money. What you need is our belief, our respect, our genuine interest in what you have built. I know we do not deserve it, but I am asking for another chance. Not to celebrate your success, though we do want to celebrate, but to actually know you. To understand what drives you. To be the family you deserve. Please come to Christmas. No pressure, no performances, no guests. Just us. Let us try to do better. Love, Mom. I read the letter 3 times. Then I called her. Sophie. She answered on the first ring. Oh, honey, thank God. I was not sure you would call. I got your letter. And? I will come to Christmas. But, Mom, if I come, things have to be different. They will be. I promise. What do you need? I need you to actually listen when I talk about my work. I need you to ask real questions, not just nod politely. I need you to stop measuring my success by what car I drive or what apartment I live in. Done. Absolutely. What else? I need Derek to understand that his world is not the only version of success. Investment banking is great, but it is not better than what I am doing. Just different. He knows that now. Trust me, he knows. And I need Dad to stop offering to help with connections. I have built this company without his help. I am proud of that. I understand. Anything else? Yeah. I need you to be proud of me, not because a magazine validated what I am doing, but because I am doing work that matters. I am helping businesses survive. I am creating jobs. I am building something meaningful. That should have been enough for you to be proud with or without a magazine cover. Mom's voice cracked. You are right. It should have been. And I am proud, Sophie. Not because of the magazine, but because you are my daughter and you are extraordinary. I just wish I had realized it sooner. Me too. So you will come to Christmas? I will come. But just for a couple of days. I have a company to run. A couple of days is perfect. Thank you, honey. Thank you for giving us another chance. Christmas was different. I arrived to find the house decorated normally. No guests, no performance, no caterer. Just Mom's homemade cooking and family. Derek greeted me at the door with a hug. Hey, Sophie. Thanks for coming. Thanks for not calling me embarrassing. He winced. Yeah, about that. I am going to be apologizing for that for the rest of my life, am I not? Probably. His wife appeared behind him. Sophie, that magazine cover is framed in Derek's office. He shows it to everyone. I do not, Derek protested. You absolutely do. He has told the story at least 50 times. My sister is one of the top leaders in the country. I smiled despite myself. Dad came out of his study. Sophie, good to see you. Hi, Dad. I read the magazine article. Impressive work. Very impressive. Thank you. I would love to hear more about your business model over dinner. The payment optimization piece is fascinating. I have some questions about your approach to risk assessment. I blinked. You actually read the article? I read everything I could find, including your interviews and your presentation at the Tech Summit. You have built something remarkable. I do not know what to say. Say you will explain how you managed to scale from thousands of clients to tens of thousands of clients in a few years while maintaining an extremely high retention rate. That is extraordinary in the fintech space. And just like that, we were talking. Actually talking. About models and metrics and market positioning. About the challenges of scaling a payments platform. About regulatory compliance and competitive advantages. It was the first real conversation we had had about my work in years. Mom made my favorite meal. Over dinner, they asked about my employees, my investors, my plans for expansion. Derek shared stories from his banking world without the condescension I had grown used to. Aunt Patricia asked if she could invest in my next round. You want to invest? I asked, surprised. If you will have me. I have some money set aside. I have always wanted to invest in startups, and I cannot think of a better bet than you. Aunt Patricia, our minimum investment for the next round will likely be significant. I have it. I stared at her. You have that much you want to invest in my company? I have more. I was going to split it between you and a few other opportunities, but if you would prefer the full amount, let me know. Talk to your financial advisor. Make sure it is the right move for you. Already did. She said if the magazine profile was accurate, this was a no-brainer. By the end of the weekend, I had had more meaningful conversations with my family than in the previous several years combined. On Christmas evening, Derek pulled me aside. Can I show you something? He led me to his old bedroom, which Mom had converted to a guest room. On the desk was a framed photo from Thanksgiving years ago, the year before I had started my company. We were both laughing at something Dad had said, young and carefree. I keep this here as a reminder, Derek said quietly. Of what? Of how badly I screwed up. I had a sister who was building something incredible, and I was too arrogant to see it. Too caught up in my own definition of success to recognize anyone else's. Derek. Let me finish. When I saw that magazine cover, my first emotion was not pride. It was shame. Because I realized I had been treating you like a failure when you were succeeding beyond anything I will ever accomplish. That is not true. You are a managing director at. I am a cog in a machine, Sophie. A well-paid cog, but still a cog. You built the machine. There is a difference. Both things matter. Maybe, but I should have respected what you were doing. I should have been curious instead of dismissive. I should have been your biggest cheerleader, not your harshest critic. I put my hand on his shoulder. You can start now. I already have. I have been telling everyone at the bank about your company. We are actually looking at using your platform for some of our mid-market clients. I gave your partner's contact info to our head of business development. You did. I did. And Sophie, when I tell people my sister is the CEO who built a 9-figure fintech empire from nothing, I have never been more proud to be your brother. Not long after that, we closed our next funding round at an even higher valuation. Aunt Patricia invested. We used the funding to expand internationally, launching in several new countries. By the end of the following year, we were processing billions in monthly transactions with tens of thousands of clients and nearly 600 employees. Annual revenue continued to climb. Derek's bank became a client. He still jokes that his little sister is technically his vendor now. Mom frames every article written about the company and sends them to relatives with handwritten notes. Dad joined our advisory board. He does not get paid for it. He does it because he is genuinely interested in what we are building. A major outlet ran a follow-up feature not long ago. The opening line read, "While most CEOs chase headlines, Sophie Carter chased excellence." The headlines came anyway. They interviewed my family for the piece. Mom said, "We underestimated her for too long. We will not make that mistake again." Derek said, "My sister taught me that quiet confidence builds empires. Loud criticism builds nothing." I framed both quotes and hung them in my office. Not because I needed their validation, though it was nice to finally have it, but because they were true. And because the best revenge is not proving people wrong. It is building something so undeniable that their opinions become irrelevant.